This video is sponsored by Squarespace, more about them later. Today we're doing an extreme entryway makeover start to finish using only budget products from Ikea. If you're new here, hi, I'm Man and this is my doggo Mars, and we love all things Ikea DIY and interior design. And today we're doing an entryway makeover for our dear friends Lina and Bokat. When I first entered their entryway, it was looking desperate. And desperate is obviously a mild word. There was some type of corkboard all over this wall, and once they removed it, this was what was left behind. The wall was just falling off and everything was so dusty, so we started demoing right away with Lina's husband Bokat. And that's basically all we did in the first half of the day. Now, after we did the demo, it was now time to make a plan on how to add a wall in this entryway, and we figured a drywall was the way to go. Since they also needed this door to be closed, there is actually a wall behind this door, so they didn't need it anymore, and drywall seemed like the best solution. However, I'm going to do a quick disclaimer here and say that we are not professionals by any means, and clearly we didn't know what we were doing. So please, for the love of God, please don't come at me with "that's not how drywall is installed" comments, because I already know that's not how drywall is installed. But they needed a quick fix and they needed it to be low budget, so me and Bokat did our best and just make this entryway have walls again. Fingers crossed it doesn't fall off on us. So once again, please don't take my advice on how to drywall. That's just all I'm gonna say. Now moving on, this wall was actually made out of some kind of wood particles. That's how houses were apparently made here in the past, and it was literally impossible to drill in it. So we had to work with the few wood slats this wall actually had and just go from there. We started screwing them one by one in the floor, in the ceiling, and in the wood slats this wall had behind. After installing our slats, it was now time to just secure the drywall on the slats. I mean, come on, this entryway already looks gorgeous. After a somewhat successful day of drywalling, it was now time for me to tape and mud the drywall. I've done this before many times, all over my house. This is actually a skill I learned from my dad. What I'm doing is just filling everywhere the drywall is connecting using drywall glue and placing a drywall tape on top. I'm doing the same thing in the corners and on each screw. Now when that's out of the way, the only thing left to do is for me to mud the drywall, and I have Tera helping me all day, so let's do it. easy, just like icing a cake. The next day I went ahead and gave everything a light sand and finally finished everything with painting it in clear white. I mean, just wow. First off, we have a wall, everything's just nice and clean, and now it's finally time to start styling the entryway, which is my favorite part for sure. But before we do that, let's just take a quick moment so I can tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the best place to go if you want to build a beautiful website or create an online store. First, with their guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint, you get to choose from a collection of professionally curated layouts and styling options, creating a unique online presence that's tailor-made for your brand and optimized for every device. Also, if you need help with writing content, Squarespace AI has got you covered. Whether it's for your website, product description, or emails, it generates instant personalized content that perfectly captures your brand's vibe. And if you're building an online store, Squarespace is making checkout seamless for your customers. You can accept credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, and even offer buy now, pay later options with Afterpay and ClearPay in reliable countries. So what are you waiting for? Head on to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/homebyman to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to styling our entryway. The main plan for their entryway was to make it functional, minimal, simple, and just cute. So first, we're bringing in our shoe cabinets. These are the Ikea BISSA shoe cabinets. You may remember this from my entryway. I actually donated them to Lena and they fit in her entryway just perfectly. Oh, and we are just going to ignore the fact that there are knobs only on 2 of these shoe cabinets. We'll tackle that later. Now here comes the fun part. We are DIYing a mirror and we're doing it with the Ikea LOTS/BLODLÖNN square mirrors. These actually come in a pack of 4 and we got 2 packs, which means we have 8 squares. The idea is to actually do a frame using black paint and then hang these on top. Something just like this. You'll get the idea pretty soon. So first, I'm making a frame, leaving 1 centimeter on each side of the mirrors. Figuring out the measurements was actually the hardest part of this process. Once I made level lines, it's now time to go over them with a painter's tape, so let's do it. Now when everything's taped out, it's now time to go over everything with white paint first. This will actually ensure our line is crisp later on. I've learned this trick a long time ago and it really makes the biggest difference when it comes to making crisp lines with no leaking. And once the white paint has dried out, we are going over everything with a coat of black. However, I'm not painting it all the way through since the frame is only 1 centimeter on each side, so I'm just eyeballing everywhere the frame will be exposed. And while we wait for our paint to dry, let's hang some hangers. We actually got this from one of our favorite shops, Flying Tiger, which is a Copenhagen-based shop that's all over Europe. These bamboo hangers were like $5 each, and we're hanging 3 of them behind the door. Just perfect. Now let's get back to our mirror. We're removing the tape first, and of course the line is crisp and sharp as a knife. And now it's time to hang the mirrors. These mirrors come with their own double-sided stickers, so that's what we're using to hang them on the wall. We're hanging them one by one, making sure everything's straight and in line. This mirror turned out just perfect. Lina loved it so much, and honestly, I'm obsessed with it too. Now we're moving on to hanging one more thing we got from Ikea, and that is this shelf/spice rack. We're using this shelf for Tara's leashes and toys, so they're always close at hand every time they're taking her for a walk. But that's not all. We're also hanging this bag we found at Ikea. We're attaching it to the shelf and it looks just super cute. And before moving on to the finishing touches, I'm adding one more shelf. I actually DIY'd this one from a scrap piece of wood I had at home. So I just added a black shoelace for them to hang their sunglasses here and just make a decorative moment out of that. I'm also screwing a few hooks so that they can hang their keys on it. And since you remember this wall, finding the studs was just not an option for us. So we're hanging it using silicone, but also adding this heavy-duty double-sided tape so that it keeps it in place until the silicone fully dries out. Now we can finally move on to the final touches. First, I'm adding this Ikea shoe mat. This yellow looks just so good and adds the much needed pop of color. And on top of it, I'm adding this simple shoe rack that's also from Ikea. Next, I'm laying this doormat I got from Ikea. And I'm also rolling out this white runner I got from Yusk. I'm hanging this clock above the door. This one is also from Yusk. I'm adding some books on the shoe cabinets, a plant, and a tiny cactus Lina already had for decor. I'm arranging a few of their sunglasses on the shelf I made, and I'm hanging their keys. Look at this keychain, it's just so cute. I'm hanging this cute tote bag Lina takes at the gym every day, and I'm adding some of her shoes on the shoe rack. Now, before showing you how everything turned out, I have one more DIY up my pocket. I'm actually taking a photo of Tara using my Instax Mini, and we're hanging it over her shelf. Tara is just the cutest. And I also added another frame for decor. Now let's remember for just 1 second how this entryway used to look like. When we first entered it, it was a short horror story with no solid walls. And let's see how it looks like now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just over the moon with how this entryway turned out. Please let me know if you liked it in the comment section below. Just to note, this makeover took me way longer than I ever expected. So Lina and Bokats, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry you waited so long. But you know, life happens. And I'm hoping to do many DIYs and makeovers in your new home. Just call me. Thank you again guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video, and please subscribe to the channel. I'm getting so close to hitting 100k and you will be helping me so much if you just hit that subscribe button. Just hit it. See you designers next week. Bye!